I'm confused, man.
Dude, he jerks off for like a minute, and then they talk, and then
so I've been told.
And then Willem Dafoe talks about his lobster.
Oh, I didn't hear about that part.
Yeah, he talks about like his fucking lobsters. He's like Robert Pattinson's like, or he's like I fucking hate your cooking, and then he's like, no, you're fond of me lobster. Just watch the movie, man. It's fucking great.
Okay.
What's up, Wave Generators? This is the Bud Buddies Podcast. I'm Nick.
I'm Andy.
I'm Jonny.
And I'm Alfonso.
And today, we're going to be talking about movies. So everyone likes a good movie, right? We all like to pass time with the movie.
No, I like the bad ones.
I do. Love me a good film.
You know, and so movies are one of these things where it's the tastes are all over the place, right? And I think I would argue it's one of the forms of media that, at least I can say personally, and I think a lot of people agree with me here, that when it's really, really, really bad, it's really good. You know? Like watching a really bad movie, to me, turns into a comedy. So like sometimes I'll just watch like a really horrible horror movie because I know I'm going to laugh my ass off watching it.
The thing is, you have to watch bad movies in order to appreciate good movies, right?
Yeah.
But this comes with any form of media.
No, that's true.
You have to watch a movie and be like, that was a good movie. Like you don't need to base it off of something.
No. I mean, you don't have to base it off of it, but there has to be bad movies out there, like genuinely bad, like ones that you can't even enjoy, like genuinely bad movies where you can then appreciate a good movie or even just a decent movie.
Have any of you ever walked out of a theater?
Oof.
No,
I came close though.
I've walked out of a theater once.
What movie?
I did, but I was a young child and I got frightened because I was watching. I was watching Ang Lee's Hulk. And
Bro, this shit was the bomb. It bombed. But...
It bombed, but I was like, no, I was like, whenever that movie dropped, I went to the theaters with my mom and me, like, I was just shitting myself at how scary the Hulk was.
That movie was a little.
It was very like.
It's
a very violent movie.
Ang Lee went pretty realistic with it. Yeah. The CGI was a little bit better than what it was at the time.
Yeah.
I loved that movie when I was a kid, and as not much, it's not really that much of a good movie, but just because I loved it when I was a kid, I still love it now, and you can't change my mind.
Yeah.
But the one movie that I walked out of, and I was a young kid too, but I was like, Mom, this is really boring. I can't. And she looked at me. She's like, dude, this is fucking horseshit. Like, we got to get out of here. She's like, this popcorn was not worth it. Let's go. And it was I think, like, it was The Tale of Despereau or something like that.
The mouse movie.
It was one of the movies with, like, one of those cartoon movies with 3D cartoon movies with a mouse.
It's the mouse.
There's two stories. One of them is A Tale of Despereau. I forgot the other one. Or one of them, it's a book about a lost rabbit toy. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like,
give me the fuck out.
Is it just me? Am I not getting this? Because
this shit's whack.
This is pretty garbage. And my mom was like, this fucking sucks. And we just booked it. It was the only movie I've ever walked out of.
See, that's the thing though, is like, I hate kids movies that make kids seem stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's like my big issue with kids movies is like, a good kids movie is a movie that an adult can watch and be like, this shit is fucking funny too. Like, a few examples that come straight to mind are like Toy Story 2, Shrek, fucking, even like any of maybe like Coco. Like, that's like probably a more recent one that's like, damn.
I love when they include adult jokes into kids' movies or kids' TV shows.
Yeah. Those are always great. I mean, that's the thing though. It's like a good movie, like a good kids movie, doesn't make the kids seem stupid, or like doesn't assume that the kids are dumb and they just want to hear, you know, the fucking minions babble for 30 minutes. You know, like
but then you can't have the opposite.
Like Paddington is actually a fucking goated movie.
Is it?
Both one and the first one and the second one are amazing movies, and they're just like, just despite them being like a kids movie about a bear in London, like this shit is the most adorable fucking thing. But it's like, it's like an actually good movie. It's like a decent story. The second one was really fun. It was just about like this.
Paddington talks to the queen.
Paddington, yeah, dude. Paddington's the goat.
Jubilee.
Paddington, fucking linking up with Lizzie, bro.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. But besides that,
Wait a minute.
but anyways, yeah, I think that's like when you're. That was like my gripe with like the Despicable Me movies, is like I loved the first one. Why on earth is there
They're just milking it
4
now.
more? Literally, it's like the Minions craze of like the 2010s was like unbearable.
Keep calm and blank.
Keep
Minion
calm
on.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
banana.
So,
Shit was cringe.
Wait, do we like horror movies?
No.
It depends. I like cinematic horror movie, like cinematic horror experiences. So like,
That is a very pretentious way of saying yes. I like horror movies.
no, because I don't like shitty jump scare movies are awful. Like I think they bring no substance. Like I watched The Nun, and that movie was outright boring.
Would you consider it a horror movie? Because I enjoyed it.
It is, yeah,
Okay.
it's
I'd
good.
say I think it's a bit on the softer side, but I enjoyed it.
You know
Like
what it
it's
is?
good.
I think horror.
It's a
one of those
thriller.
things. You gotta be in the right mood for it. Like sometimes I'll be in the mood where it's like, wow, I really want to get creeped out and I want to watch like a good horror movie, and then I'll be in the mood where it's like, I want to watch a really bad horror movie and just laugh at how bad it is. You know?
Some of them are very like
Um,
amazing. You ever seen like Thanksgiving?
oh god.
Nope.
That movie.
It's just sound just by the name.
By the name, I'm watching it tonight.
Thanksgiving,
I'm watching it tonight,
dude.
Andrew.
Thanksgiving is actually the probably one of the best, worst horror movies I've ever seen.
But I think horror movies have good concepts sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah,
I
but
enjoy the Saw movies. Like we're not winning any like.
yeah, you're not winning an Oscar. You're not winning an
Yeah.
Oscar for fucking making the Saw movies,
But-
right? But like the traps are intricate.
Yeah,
They get
exactly. The
creative.
set that's the thing about horror movies, that they generally have pretty good set design.
That's true. Yeah, I can respect that. I can respect a good set design, but like, I don't know. I just can't stand like. I'm going back to The Nun because that's probably the worst horror movie I've ever seen.
You know, you have not seen the new Poltergeist movie.
Oh,
By
God.
you, I mean,
Relatively.
the recently new Poltergeist movie.
But the thing is like
All visual.
horror movies are like some of them are like amazing. So like The Witch was really good. Fucking Hereditary was very good. The Lighthouse was very good.
Yes.
The Lighthouse is a horror movie?
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
You need to watch it. It's a horror movie, but it is like a psychological horror movie. So it's not like outright like jump scares. It fucks with your head. And it is such a fantastic movie. Robert Pattinson jerks himself off for like a minute and it's fucking great. Anyways.
Yeah,
But
there's a lot,
yeah.
Like, have you watched the Signal?
The Signal.
Yeah.
Dude, I stray away from horror movies because I'm like, I don't want this to be like, I genuinely just, I'm like, I like will poke at these movies with like a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to fucking deal with them because 9 out of 10 times I know I'm going to be bored. Yeah.
Oh, bored.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 times I'm like bored. Like some of them are like the movie, like plots don't go anywhere. Fucking
Right.
shit doesn't happen until about 30, 40
That's
minutes
the gripe
in.
of horror movies is that like
Shit doesn't happen.
a lot,
Yeah.
a lot of it seems like an afterthought. Like the ending is just
Yeah.
like was thought about afterwards. You know.
I'm looking at you, The Nun.
but-
Again, I'm coming back and attacking The Nun, but like that's
But then
the
there's some really good examples. Like it was really good. It was really good. Like cinematography wise. There's that shot where like like they're in spoiler alert. They're in the sewer and the clown comes out and the camera's focus is on the clown's eyes, right? But the clown is dancing and shaking his
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's like, fuck.
right, so it's very creepy. So there's some good cinematography in those movies, and that's really cool when you see something like that as well. Which I feel like in your run-of-the-mill standard action movie, you're gonna have your pan shot and all, your regular stuff, and I'm sure Andy
loves movies.
Has a lot.
I don't
Andy has
watch
so
movies.
much to
Which
say.
is so ironic.
Andy, have you watched it?
I haven't seen
Have
any
you
of the
seen
movies
Saw?
you guys have just
Okay,
talked. Saw. Watch what you guys 2 weeks ago for the very
Saw
first
five.
time.
We saw Saw 6.
Saw 6.
We saw
six.
Saw 6 for the first. Well,
first
he
is
saw
Saw.
Saw
You
6.
saw Sick?
We saw
I saw
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 6.
Sorry.
I hate that.
I 6
But yeah, but so side note that about movies before we go on to the absolute atrocity
That is Andy.
Andy's cinematography experience. Even though he uses a lot of cameras and takes a lot of really good photos and videos,
Yeah.
and has no interest in.
So he actually has fantastic cinematography experience. He just doesn't watch any movies.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like I feel like I'm somebody that could really appreciate film for the technical side of things. You just don't watch any film.
The problem is, I don't like movies because it's too short of a time investment. Like it's long and it's short in different ways. And here's my argument. So it's short because it's a one-time thing. You sit down, watch it, it's done.
Yeah.
I can't get like invested into the characters to the point where I can like, I don't know, I can't expect anything more after I watch the movie, right? Like
Yeah.
if I watch a show, I can watch an episode, I can think about it, and then I can watch another episode and just keep going. And it's a long time investment where I can get really invested in the story and the characters. But with movies, it just doesn't happen for me. And then the other thing is that for movies, you have to watch in one sitting, right?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, you do.
I watched the Lighthouse. Me and Christian watched the Lighthouse in 2 sittings.
But I feel like
Unless like
you
really
lose.
big movies like The Godfather, where like you can see that there's kind of an
There's a
Yeah.
built in. Most movies,
You kind of have to watch.
You
Yeah.
gotta watch it through.
Yeah, so I feel like unless you watch it in one sitting, you lose a lot of the content. Or like you basically
Right.
just aren't as invested if you watch it in multiple sittings.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have the time nor attention span to sit for over 90 minutes. Like movies right now are getting to the point where they're almost always 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that. It's such a
Fair
large
enough.
time
Fair
investment. I can only sit through shows, even shows that are like 40-minute episodes are like cutting it close for me.
You get bored.
See, that's the thing.
Not
though.
bored, but it's just like for me to sit down and be like, okay, the next hour I'm going to sit down and just watch and do nothing is like not something I love to think
You're
about. So
also
that's
a big
why
YouTube guy. Though,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I love short form content.
Yeah,
short
yeah,
form
yeah.
and
Not TikTok short form, more like 10, 15 minutes.
exactly short and medium form.
Yeah.
And I like I don't like what's it called? What's the freaking word?
What?
Like rehearsed content, like movies and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Or I mean, not that I don't like it.
Just like acting.
I don't like creating it. So I like consuming the thing that I like creating the most, which is just like real time.
Yeah, real time stuff. Yeah.
So that's what I
Like this.
yeah. So I like consuming this kind of content.
Yeah. It's
Because I
like things that
making
are in
it.
real time, very natural, very just like
Yeah. Stuff that's rehearsed. I don't like getting into script writing and all that. Like I like doing it from time to time, but I don't love it. It's
Fair
just
enough.
cool.
Like impromptu kind of stuff.
Yeah. So that's
I
why
get
I don't
that.
watch movies.
Yeah.
See, I'm the opposite. So I hate
agree.
TV shows.
Yeah, I'm not a big TV
I hate TV shows for the fact that I need to get people are like, oh, dude, just watch until episode 4 and then you're gonna be set. It's set. You're set for life. And I'm like, fuck off. I'm not waiting. I'm not investing what could be 3 to 4 hours of my time to watch a show that I may or may not like. Like, I think this is a big thing. Still sticking with the TV show, but anime does that to me a lot. Where there's this one anime that came out, and Boruto. Oh my god. Okay, so Naruto was like the big popular one that was back in like 2010, like 2015 it was over, and then they announced, oh, Naruto has a son and we're making his own spin-off show. And I was like, this can't be great. And you know, it was like me fucking with copium to the max of like, I'm gonna watch every episode until it gets good. I went 18 to 19 episodes, which was about 20 minutes each.
Ooh.
And it's dog shit. Like, I can't stand the commitment that I have to do for certain shows that I'm like, okay, if I have to commit this long, I'm fuck that. Like I can't do that. That's why I love movies, because it's like if it's an hour, it's just an hour and a half. It's an hour and a half to 2 hours. If it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, I'm glad. But like I remember like watching The Happening. If you've ever seen that movie, so that movie was like, I can't believe I sat through the entire thing, because that movie is awful.
Well, the thing is, for movies, like if it's really bad, you could probably notice a good portion of the way through, like a third of the way through, half.
No, you'll realize a third of the way through.
Yeah,
this
like,
movie's dog shit.
And then if you're watching it from home, you're like, right,
yeah, you're just clocked out. Yeah,
or in the theater.
You just walk out.
Are you to walk out? Depends.
Yeah.
But for TV shows, it's like it's too short.
Yeah.
And the next one might do it.
Yeah.
And so you keep.
So you just keep like committing to episodes, and I'm just like, I can't do that. Like
I couldn't do Breaking Bad.
That's the main reason why I don't want to start Breaking Bad.
Well, I have two things, right? So I also don't like TV shows for two things. One, I can't get into something where it's like there's 17 seasons already and like there's like 7,000 episodes. No. I have to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I just can't do it, you know? But with Breaking
I'm looking
Bad,
at you, One Piece.
That's ridiculous.
In case you don't know, they hit episode 1,000 a few weeks ago.
Listen, you know what? At that point, I think the people that are into One Piece are watching One Piece. No one's getting into One Piece.
No
The
shot.
issue is everyone that's really into these shows, because they've been watching for such a long time, they're like, I love it. I'm so committed to it. Everyone needs to watch it. But the problem is like, oh yeah, just watch the first 250 episodes and then it gets good. And
Yeah, dude. Yeah, let me waste my fucking time.
Yeah, I feel like it's a big waste of time.
That's the thing, is like TV shows are like way too. It's just way too much.
They're getting long.
It's a big fucking gamble on whether or not, like, you know.
I also have this thing too with TV shows, and some TV shows alleviate this by doing like a little like what happened in the previous episode. But in all honesty, I don't remember like the fine details. I'll be completely honest. I really don't. They start like referencing things from like 3 seasons beforehand. I don't know what they're talking about. I half the time remember what people's names are in the TV shows.
We're looking at you, Attack on Titan.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where I'm kind of just like, I like it to be succinct, like a good, here's the start, here's the finish. That's what it is, you know? And a good thing that I like to do is, I like to just like check like, oh, how much time must I have in this movie? You know what I'm saying? With like a TV show, you can't really do that. It's like, oh yeah, there's like 5 minutes left in this episode, but like, is the episode going to leave you off on a cliffhanger? And then you kind of got to watch the next episode. And it's like, or the absolute worst, you finish it and more episodes are on the way and you're invested. And it's like, I want to consume more of the TV show now. And then this is just what happens to me. I'm into the TV show and it's like, oh, new episodes are dropping next week. And then by the time next week rolls around, I'm like, yeah, I'm not really interested in it anymore.
Yeah, like I'm over it.
The phase kind of passed, you know? So yeah, so that's that whole thing.
I don't know. I love movies way too much to like not.
But I will say when I do get into a good TV show, I am in it and I binge the hell out of it. But I think binging is just such an unhealthy thing to do, just in general, and that's why I'm kind of like, yeah, you know what? If I don't watch 20 episodes in 2 days. You know what? Maybe
I'm looking at you, Demon Slayer. You made me do that for the fucking movie.
I binge watched Breaking Bad when like months after the final episode and the final season came out, and I watched the finale with Chris, and he just looked over me, and I'm like, all right, that was all right. But a couple of other of our friends have done it too, and they're absolutely in love with it. We're gonna put up a meme right here that perfectly describes Breaking Bad, and everyone knows. Well, not everyone knows, but we've definitely seen this one before, where it's like the first season. It's like it's kind of slow and boring, and then the middle part is like, hey yo, and then at the last part is the greatest show of all time.
Right.
No. But binging, I binged the middle 3 seasons of Breaking Bad. I just remember never taking my eyes off the screen. I was like, I cannot do this again. And then I did it again for Game of Thrones. And Game of Thrones was amazing for about 4 or 5 seasons. And then it fell off a fucking cliff. And I thank God I wasn't invested from like a decade ago. Because when you do a decade of storytelling and then you plunge it off a cliff that quickly in a season or two, I say people are going to get real fucking pissed.
That's another thing about like TV shows is that just when time, like you have the good side of it, right? Which is what Andy was saying before, which is like, I want more content. I don't just want an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then it's done. Yeah, sequels can kind of fix that, but it's not the same as a TV show. It doesn't seem as cohesive, right? So you get that extra content. But the other side of that coin is that one season can be drastically different to another season. And it can end up in a Game of Thrones type of way where you're almost like, I almost wish they didn't make this season.
We're looking at you, Promised Neverland season 2.
You can tell who the entertainment consumer is, right? Yeah, so it's good, but one thing, and this is just you mentioned it before we started recording, like the movie you saw most recently. For me, it was Dune. I watched it on the plane on the way back from Mexico. Watch for the Mexico podcast episode coming out soon. And I was actually pretty scared to watch that movie. I use scared lightly here, obviously, but I didn't want to watch the movie mainly because. Dune is my favorite book, just period. I just love Dune. Dune is my.
Imagine
series,
reading.
Reading
Couldn't fucking be me.
Sorry, I did not mean to bring mere words.
Don't worry, guys. You'll never get a fucking book episode from us, and that's on God. Anyways, continue.
It'll just be me and Chris talking about like, weird books and then Mass Effect.
And here's my favorite manga, guys.
That's art. That's not a fucking book.
So anyway, so
Paper.
I really enjoyed Dune, and I was like really scared to watch this Dune movie because when you watch a book, you have like a mental image of like how things are.
No doubt, yeah.
It's gonna fuck it up completely, right? And for the people that like really know Dune, they made a Dune movie years ago, right?
Yeah.
It was ass. It was pretty horrible. We're talking about like movies you can't sit through. I couldn't watch it, and at that point I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm done with like Dune movies. And then I saw it on play, and I was like, you know what? People said it's good.
It is good.
Let me give it a try, right? And I watched it, and I was like, this is one of the first times that I've read a book, enjoyed the book so much, and then watched a movie and been like, that was still really good. Because I feel like every time I kind of do that, where it's like I read the book and then I watch the movie, it's like you could tell where sacrifices were kind of.
Well, yeah, when you're limited, but even then, like you're only limited to so much time.
Right.
I mean, but like
there's always gonna be sacrifices.
Yeah.
It's just what's cut and what's not.
Yeah.
And another thing that was like that I just noticed is that for the first movie in the first Dune movie, like, they're making it into a large series.
Yeah.
It doesn't go that far in the first book. It doesn't even like it doesn't even scratch the surface, so to speak. Which gets me excited because it's like, okay, well, I enjoyed the movie and there's gonna be a lot more content, but that's a long movie. That
movies are almost 3 hours long,
and they didn't get that far, and I think that's why I enjoyed it so much. Because all of that detail and stuff like that, they didn't rush the storytelling to get to like the action and stuff like that. They really set the scene pretty well.
It really does just like that. Yeah, that movie is like a precursor to everything to come.
Right.
And it's just like
and the thing is that there's so many Dune books. Like Dune is not a short book in and of itself, but there's so many Dune books. There's so much story to go. So pleasantly surprised about that one. But most of the time, barring like the big ones like Harry Potter and stuff like that.
Yeah, like Harry Potter.
Side note, I could not even get through the Harry Potter books. Tried multiple times. Couldn't do it. Sorry. Yeah, I know. I'm not.
Harry Potter.
There's no
Star Wars.
book readers around here. But yeah.
Did you watch the cartoon? Not the cartoon. Oh well, the animated Clone Wars series.
Not fully, but I do remember it being very good.
I think I actually watched Clone Wars in theaters.
So there was a movie, and then it became a Cartoon Network show.
So goddamn corny.
It was pretty good. I thoroughly enjoyed it actually.
It was pretty corny. The show I remember being much better because like 2 to 3 seasons in, they started getting really bold with it.
Yeah.
So throwing wild ideas out there, like Darth Maul is alive, things like that.
Yeah.
And it got really good. But it wasn't like you needed to know what happened in the previous episode.
Yeah.
Because it was new things. It was just like, it was an episode of SpongeBob. They just do new shit in an episode.
But there's some overarching.
It's almost like Avatar, where it's like every episode is an adventure, but there's an overlapping.
Yes.
Kind of story.
There were some episodes that chained into each other, like 1, 2, maybe 3 episodes that you needed to watch the previous one to know what's going on. But overall, Clone Wars was really good.
Clone Wars was fun. But
You guys,
let's go around the wait. What were you gonna say?
you guys know those? There's these YouTube channels because I don't watch movies.
Oh god.
There's these YouTube channels that
Cinema wins.
no
or
no 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 no
sins?
no 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 no. They're YouTube channels that literally take movies, condense them into like 15-minute like episodes, and then there's like a computer narrator narrating them.
This is new, right?
There's lots of these kind of channels out there, and the thing is, I
Fuck that.
love them so much.
Really?
Because I love just having the different stories, because I can't be bothered to watch the movies because, you know, I hate movies.
That's true.
But I want to know what the interesting story is, what the hook is, like how the plot develops.
Yeah.
And
You
then
need the computer narrator. I feel like the computer narrator like makes me feel like
I
I'm
mean,
an idiot.
the only reason why the computer narrator is there is because they can't, I think, legally use the sound from the movie.
Yeah.
And so it's
Well,
also
I
going
don't
to be
think
hard.
you legally use the picture either.
I don't know, but
This is
basically,
I mean, no, you
Shady.
can, because it's just it would be like fair use.
Yeah,
It's just
but you
fair
kind of need the
use.
voice
Run
there.
ads on the video.
I don't know. I got ad block. Anyways, the computer
Don't run
voice,
ad block on our YouTube videos. Not cool.
the computer voice
We-
is there
we
to
don't make
also
money.
just like connect the points because they can't like play out scenes because they'll be too slow.
Yeah.
So in order to fit it in 15 minutes, you need the voice to just kind of sum up everything, tell you what's happening, and you do get to see the visuals. But I've been watching a lot of that, and then there's also a lot of like the classics, like Good Will Hunting or something that I've never known anything about, always heard about, but never wanted
Like,
to go watch
wanted
either.
to watch
Like
it.
I watched the condensed version of that without knowing, because these videos, they don't say the title of the movie usually. So I just check the description and I'm like, oh, this is Good Will Hunting. Interesting. And so I watch it, also watch it on like 2 times speed because I've got to save that time. And yeah, I watch a lot of that and I enjoy it a lot.
I can't. No, there's no way. It's because like
That's like taking the director and just
just being like,
good,
fuck
good
you.
palm, like with a good like arm pump and just slapping the shit out of them. You know what I'm saying? Like all that work that you did for all those little details, all the casting.
Yeah.
I watched it in 8
Go
minutes.
Fuck yourself. Yeah.
So, but you know what? If you enjoy it, I think the key is if you enjoy it and it allows you to enjoy a movie you otherwise wouldn't have seen at all, more power to you.
Big up.
Hot take: spoilers help you to enjoy content.
Cap.
No.
Cap.
No thoughts.
I don't think so. I don't think so because
The twist is a part of the movie.
the part, yeah.
And it makes you feel something. And if there's no twist at the end of the day, you're missing out on something.
The issue is, like, I don't usually watch things unless I know that there is a big twist. So
No.
unless someone says, oh, there's a big twist in this, then I'll maybe watch because then I'll want to go in blind. But otherwise, sometimes if there's something revealed, I'm usually like, oh, I want to know how this happened. And then I'll watch something.
I think this just feeds into like you not wanting to commit to a movie though. You have
Maybe.
commitment
Yeah,
issues.
that's a commit.
You have
That's
commitment
a you.
issues,
Yeah.
And I hate to be the one to bring it out.
Time commitment. Time commitment.
Time commitment.
Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Andy, whatever you want to call it.
But I understand because you want to know, like, you're like, oh, like you'll always hear like, oh, M. Night Shyamalan movies got big twists. I want to know what it is. Like, I know, I'm waiting for one.
Yeah, the twist is me walking out of the theater.
True. The twist is a 180 twist.
Twist is 360 degrees and I'm walking out, man.
Wait, 360 isn't that you
Yes,
just walking
that's-
back in?
yes.
That's the joke. That's the joke.
That's what we call the
But yeah, I mean, listen, more power to you. But you're gonna say we're gonna go around the table.
Yeah, go around the table. Maybe like, what's a favorite movie you've watched recently? Maybe you wanna
A favorite
movie, maybe of all time, or just
we'll
like.
start over there because I need some time to think, and you obviously need time to think too. But
I don't need time to think. Interstellar.
Oh yeah, that's an amazing movie.
Yeah.
Actually, a movie that I haven't seen recently, in from start to finish. I've seen kind of bits recently, but I haven't. Seen
First movie that I ever saw in IMAX, when this, in the scene, I saw it in IMAX. My sister brought me to see it in IMAX first before I saw it with you guys.
Dude, some movies are fantastic in IMAX.
Oh my god, when the rocket ship, when the ignition's on, it's okay. There's rockets in that movie. With ignition on, your seat is shaking. Like,
dude, there are some movies that I'm just like, they're built for IMAX, and I'm like, you need to watch these movies in IMAX, or else you just simply cannot enjoy or appreciate all the, how much work this movie really took. Yep. I'm not gonna lie. When you said that you watched Dune on the plane, I was kind of malding because I'm like, I saw Dune at IMAX and it was one of the fucking most amazing experiences I think I've seen in a while, and I think it's definitely doing a disservice to not go. Thoughts on movie theaters? Do you guys go to the movie? Going to the movie theaters?
No.
As a date or
I love the movie theaters
type of treat thing. So you know what it is. So I don't like going to a traditional movie theater anymore. We have Alamo nearby.
Alamo Draft House. Support your local Alamo Draft House.
So for people that don't know, Alamo Draft House, it's like a normal movie theater, but it has a little more into it. Before the movie starts, they show relevant clips and things like that, a little more lore and backstory. It's one of these.
Those are always fun. I feel like that incentivizes me to get to the movie early.
Right. It's one of these movie theaters that you can order food and stuff like that, and I will say the wait staff is very non-intrusive, which is nice.
Very.
And they are very strict about you shutting the
fuck up during the movie,
and putting the cell phone away,
which I love. That's a little more expensive, so that kind of got me back into it. But I kind of view it as a treat. You know what I'm saying?
Really, I love going.
I'm a big home theater kind of guy.
Okay.
Because I can enjoy a movie the best when I'm on my couch, kicked up on the recliner in my pajamas, and just doing whatever the fuck I want to do. I feel like always when you're at the movie theater, unless you have that godlike experience of literally having the whole theater to yourself, there's other people in the room with you. And
listen, we're all human. People get up, they have to go to the bathroom, do this, do that, do the other thing.
No doubt, yeah.
It takes away a little bit.
Godzilla.
Oh.
There's 6 people in the theater. It was the 4 of us, and then 2 of my friends from middle school that just happened to be in the back, and we're like.
Also, just the
it's only us
going to the movie theater. It's because it's at a level now where
it's $13.50 a ticket.
Not at the Alamo.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, the Alamo's a little more.
Is it what, $15 a ticket?
$13.75.
But that's one of the interesting thing about movies is that you go into it with this flat rate price, and you buy it usually not knowing if you're gonna enjoy the movie or not. Yeah. So it's kind of a gamble.
Yeah.
Because usually if you buy things, you do a lot of research on it. You make sure that you get your value out of it. But you get the best price. But movies, it's just the same price.
You got trailers.
There's a big critique these days that the trailers give away too much of the movie.
The more they give out, the better. The more they give out, the more people want to go see them.
I don't know, bro. I feel like there are some trailers that do it right, and then there are some trailers that don't. I think the Hereditary trailer is a perfect trailer. Yeah. It's it doesn't give any of the movie away. If you've seen Hereditary, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to spoil anything about that movie because I genuinely believe that everyone should watch that movie. It is a trippy experience. But there are other movies that are just I just watched the entire movie through the fucking trailer. Why would I go see it?
I'm a big, know as little about the movie as possible.
For sure.
Type of guy. I want to know the bare minimum as if I'm going to kind of be into it or not. And I don't want to know anything else about it.
You're just along for the ride.
Yeah. But yeah, it's it's one of those things where it's what you prefer. I can't say go to IMAX that often, and this is just
but IMAX.
I look at IMAX and I look at the price of a
It's
fucking
like, it's
IMAX
almost
ticket,
double.
and I'm like,
No doubt, but there's
I'm not dropping $30 fucking on a movie like that.
No,
you know?
and I totally understand that. But there are movies that are made for IMAX. It's like, sure, you could go watch it at a regular schmegular movie theater, but like, if you like watch it at an IMAX theater, it just increases that like the experience. You're more immersed. The experience is cooler, and like, it's not like you ever seen like the 4D theaters?
Yes.
The 4DX ones?
Yes.
No, never.
What about the SpongeBob 6D? Is it 6 or 5? I don't know. They had it at some aquariums where the entire seat shakes. There's bubbles that get blown.
That's the 4D thing, but they call it 5D.
Nah, I think it's like 6 or 7.
Whatever it is, dude. But like those movies, like it's not like that where it's like a gimmick or whatever, and it's just.
Side note: also 3D movies can't do them.
3D movies, glasses gang can't do them.
Can't do. No, not even the glasses. I just get a headache.
Yeah,
3D
I just can't. No, the 3D effect just doesn't work.
I don't think I've ever watched a 3D movie.
Me and Daniel went to go see a movie about 2 or 3 years ago, and they accidentally gave us tickets to the 3D one. And so there wasn't a lot of people there. So when we like said, "Hey, you accidentally," like the movie that we're playing, it's not that they gave us the correct tickets. They played the wrong movie in the theater. They played the 3D version of the movie in the theater. So we're like, what the fuck do we do? So we went outside to like, hey, the 3D version's playing. They're like, no, it's not. Like, yeah, it is. And they went, oh shit, here's glasses. Hey, so I think I don't remember that well, but the consensus was, fuck it, I guess we're watching a 3D movie now. Last 3D movie I saw, and the last I will ever see, because I hate them too. They're
last 3D
annoying.
movie I saw was Spy Kids 3D Game Over.
Game Over.
I remember that was the big.
Yeah.
Whoa, movies in 3D.
No.
No.
The big one was
Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
God.
They're both the same to me.
Spy Kids 3 was also on that wave, but I think Shark Boy and Lava Girl was like, it's.
I mean,
We were kids at the time,
they
so-
were both made by the same fucking studio. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
They're pretty much the
true.
same
It is
fucking
the
movie.
same movie, honestly.
But yeah. So now that you had your Interstellar.
Interstellar.
Andy.
Oh, God. So the problem is, whenever anyone asks my favorite anything, I never have something in mind, because it's hard to come to a full conclusion of what your absolute favorite is. But generally, the things that I enjoy are ones that have a good, like time travel always. If they do it well, I absolutely love it. So the most recent movie I watched, which was on the airplane, what was it? It was some romance time travel show. Not a show, a movie. What was it called? I don't know what it's called, but it's basically just a husband and wife, and then the husband is a time traveler. And
Isn't that called like the Story of Adelaide or some shit like that? There's one like that.
I don't know. I watched it. It was good. And I was just like, yeah, as long as shows do this kind of time loop and time skipping thing correctly, then I'll enjoy it every time. So I don't know. It might not have been that great of a movie, but I enjoyed it. And as long as there's time travel, I'm a sucker for. And romance.
And romance.
Absolutely love romance.
But you don't
oh my
like.
Lord.
But you don't like rom-coms, right?
I love rom-coms.
Okay, rom-coms.
It's above your shoulder. It's right there.
It's this movie
Yeah, it's
right
that
here. Read the title. If you're on Spotify, watch the YouTube.
I mean, look, I'm a sucker for rom-coms too. I still think my favorite rom-com of all time is Crazy Rich Asians.
I've not seen that one.
It's a fantastic
I've
rom-com.
seen it. If it's a rom-com, I've probably
Dude,
seen
you've probably
it.
seen it. Like, there are some rom-coms that he's seen that I'm just like, what in the fuck is this? It's a tie between Crazy Rich Asians and 13 Going on 30. Those are my two favorite rom-coms. Like, those are very well
I
done.
know a movie that I watched completely not expecting to watch this movie and actually kind of enjoyed it, which is hilarious. There's actually two of these movies.
I'm scared.
What to
'cause-
expect when expecting.
Yeah, so number one, Devil Wears Prada. Love that movie.
Oh, yes.
Love that movie so much. So many reasons. But yes, what to expect when you're expecting. Little backstory
Yes.
on this one.
I was gonna ask for
Little
it.
backstory on this one. So this is high school.
right?
Yep.
This is high school, early high school.
Sophomore year.
Or was it middle school?
No, sophomore year.
No,
because
it
we
had
knew,
to
we
have
knew
been-
each
it
other.
had to have been high school.
So it was high school, and this movie called The Dictator came out.
Yes,
and
sir.
Sacha Baron Cohen. And I remember I really wanted to see it with my friends, and we were not going to be able to get in because we just weren't old enough to get in, you know? And so the plan was buy the movie that was happening before, and then when that movie finished, just walk into the next theater, right? And so it was like 1, 2 movies for the price of one. We're broke high school kids, and 2 get to go see The Dictator, even though we're not old enough, right? And so it was 5 of us, right? It was me, it was you, it was our mutual friend Moses, and these 2 girls that were coming with us, and they actually wanted to see this movie, What to Expect When You're Expecting. They like genuinely wanted to see it. And so us guys were like, yeah, fuck it, whatever dictator, like whatever ticket gets us to the dictator, right? And so we go there, and it's literally a movie about like different women going through different types of pregnancies. There's like the woman
Yes.
that's like having twins, but like her pregnancy is like effortless and she had like no problem at all. There's the woman that like breaks down completely and is like, I'm not gonna be a good mother and all this stuff. You know, the woman that has like a bunch of like, is she gonna need a C-section, all this stuff.
Isn't Kevin Hart in that movie?
Yes.
Chris Rock.
Oh, Chris Rock.
Chris
Okay.
Rock, my bad. Chris Rock. And you know what? Like we're watching this movie, and I realized this 45 minutes in. I'm invested.
I would go like, yo, Nick, I'm enjoying myself. This is like,
what's gonna happen? Great movie. Really enjoy. Like literal like 15-year-old Nick like doesn't even know how like what the deal is with babies yet. Not like totally out of place. Really fucking enjoyed that movie. And here's the best part of it. We go, right afterwards, we go into the dictator. The 2 girls that went with us, they just left. They took like 10 minutes to the dictator, and they were just like,
we gotta
you know what?
go. We're like, yeah, shut up.
Yeah. We're, whatever. And so The Dictator was a really funny movie. I think high school me enjoyed that way more. But if I was to watch one of those 2 movies today, I think I would watch What to Expect When You're Expecting again, and I wouldn't watch. It's so weird that like sometimes like a movie that's like really you're not the target audience at all. You really just vibe with.
Yeah, dude, it catches you off guard. Like it's like you're like invested. You're like, fuck, I can't believe I'm actually sitting down and watching this fucking movie
Just
about whatever.
like literally go, and that's one of those things. That's why I love going into a movie blind. Literally going into it thinking, not even blind, negatively. I'm thinking like, all right, just exist for like 2 hours so you can get to see the movie you want to see, and then actually really enjoying it. Hilarious, great experience. So yeah,
I feel that.
that's that. But speaking of bad movies, I guess it's my turn to say one of my favorites. Objectively, not the best. But I think childhood nostalgia plays a big role in this one. But Too Fast, Too Furious, man. I really, he's cringing. I don't have to look at him. I know he's cringing. Not the best Fast and Furious movie. People would argue one of the worst. I love that movie. I love that movie for multiple reasons. One, childhood movie, right? While you watch a movie as a kid, you're always gonna have a fond memory of it. 2, into cars, right? We know this, so like that's a big thing. But 3, Too Fast and Too Furious, as well as the Fast and the Furious, they defined like car culture of the time, right? Like the JDM, big body kits, neon underglow, like more TVs in your trunk than you have in your household type of vibe.
Dude,
like that was pioneered by like the Fast and the Furious franchise. And they really like push that with their movies.
On some big midnight club shit.
Yeah,
bro.
exactly. You know, like huge wheels with like spinners. You know what I'm saying? Like just like that kind of vibe. So like that's why I really love that movie, because it kind of like now when I watch it, not only do I enjoy it from a nostalgia point of view, but it's also like it kind of takes you back in time to like what car culture was about back when that movie was released.
Makes sense.
And also it's one of those things where it's like
the new Fast and the Furious movies are not really about cars at all anymore. It's really
Are they
just an
still
action
making
movie.
those?
It's about
Yes.
family.
Yes.
Yeah, Fast
I
10
think
is
they do it at 10.
Fast
Yeah.
10 is supposed to take place in space.
Oh
Yeah. So like I don't even know what's gonna happen, but you know, it's one of those things where it's like when I watch Fast and Furious, like the later ones, it's not Fast and Furious to me. It's,
No.
Vin Diesel
It's like
and his
it's
family,
Vin
you
Diesel.
know?
It's just an
Um,
action clusterfuck.
But like Fast and Furious back in the day, that was Fast and Furious, you know?
because
So-
it was about cars. Initially, it was always about cars,
Right.
and now it's just Ronda Rousey beating the shit out of Michelle Rodriguez or whatever.
Oh,
But
Yeah.
okay, so the we saved the best for last. Obviously, the person that has
The movie connoisseur.
the man that started it all. Alfonso, what is one of your favorite movies?
So I don't really have like a definitive this is in my head, this is the perfect movie. I have a range of like I will watch this movie, or like I like this movie, I like this movie, I like this movie, but I will never like actually sort them amongst like the top 5 or like a top 10 list, simply because they're just so out of left field. Like I guess genre wise, like you can't really compare the two. You can't be like, oh, this horror movie is better than this romance movie, is better than this animated children's movie comedy, you know what I mean? So I don't like clumping my movies into like a top 5 list or like a top 10 list, but I do enjoy their like some notable movies that I've seen that are like off the top of my head. The Shape of Water, I think, is one of my favorite movies of all time. I liked Argo. Argo was a very cool one that I don't think many people saw.
I have not seen that movie. Have you guys seen that movie?
Have you seen Argo?
Affleck, right?
Affleck, yeah. So it's a very cool movie. I think it takes place. I think it's based on like an actual event or whatever.
It's
it was
POW.
POWs that were trapped in like a
POW.
Canadian embassy, and they tried to
Yeah, they're rescuing POWs in Afghanistan.
in Afghanistan. Yeah, and it's just pretty much a mission.
Super cool.
It's a cool movie. It's just it's like the U.S. pretty much fake a movie so that way they can get these people out of Afghanistan. It's a very cool.
Well, you're saying that you like that's
so like
the plot.
that's the
That's the
plot.
plot,
Yeah,
yeah.
the plot
Okay.
is the U.S. is literally making a fake movie, hiring a real director, real actors to get to Afghanistan to get these people the fuck out of there.
Okay.
It's a
yeah.
very
pretty
interesting
cool.
premise.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Very fun one.
It reminds me of Zero Dark 30.
Yeah, similar.
The
similar
Middle
vibe.
Eastern post 9/11 thriller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
similar vibe. My favorite animated movie. I have 2. One would probably be Ratatouille. Influences a lot. There's a lot of influences from the nostalgia wise. I don't think I'm blinded by nostalgia because I watched that movie not too long ago and I'm like, this is a damn near perfect movie. It's just character development, like Remy and Linguini like working as like together to try to solve this issue. Linguini's problem being he's the son of a fucking heir to this restaurant, and Remy is a fucking rat that just wants to cook but knows he can't, and so uses Linguini as like a vessel to like express himself. And it's a very wholesome thing where it's like the overarching, it's one of those movies that it's like, yes, it is aimed towards kids because it's a fucking Disney Pixar movie, but it's the overarching theme is something that anyone can get behind. So it's like, it's not necessarily just about cooking. It's just like about like, oh, if you like, you're gonna like, you're put in a specific position, but that doesn't mean you have to stay there. You can be somewhere else wherever you are. And I think Ratatouille really, like, as funny as it sounds, that movie has really influenced my life and like what I want to do, like, or like what I do now. Funny enough, I am a chef, so it's like it like works out that I like want to do certain things, even though I like maybe I'm like I had a starting position anyway, like in said field, but realistically I could have done whatever I wanted, and I just truck through. So Ratatouille, very important one. The next movie that is very Shrek.
Shrek 2?
Shrek 2 to be exact.
Shrek 2.
Shrek
Is Shrek 2 superior?
Shrek 2, I gotta be honest, Shrek 2 is the perfect sequel, and it's the perfect animated movie.
You know what? Shrek 2 is the perfect sequel, I will say that.
It's the perfect sequel, it's the perfect animated
hilarious.
movie. It is
Hilarious at any age.
Any age you watch it, it is so fucking funny. Anything from like the fairy godmother asking for his Prince Charming's toy at the drive-thru to like...
To just like the whole premise.
Right?
Like it's like the fairy godmother like acting like the mob. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just...
It's so fucking funny.
All the references.
And
like
all the
brand,
references.
Like, a lot of like small details.
Yeah, when
like that.
the fucking bit where they're like Donkey, Puss in Boots, and Shrek are like plowing through fucking whatever the fuck the place was called. I forgot what it was called. The
Potion Factory?
No. The city. What's the city called?
Far, far away.
Far, far away. Yeah, they're like plowing through far, far away, and like a police chase, and they get fucking caught, and they're like,
oh, it's like an episode of Cops.
Yeah, it's like a whole episode of Cops.
I forgot.
That shit is so fucking funny.
Police brutality. Police
brutality.
brutality.
Yeah.
And then it's like little details like there's no pepper spray, but Donkey's getting peppered. They find catnip on Puss, and he's like, "Oh, that's not mine."
Yeah.
And it's like a little fucking dime bag. Like that shit is so funny.
I didn't know we had to give reasons for why these movies are our favorite movies.
No.
I would have just gone Interstellar. I like space.
Spaceman.
And I
like
love space and astronomy, and I teach physics. Next.
Stars.
No, Shrek 2
No,
is
but
Stars.
Shrek 2,
Amazing
but actually
movie.
Shrek 2, like that movie is like amazing. It's just Shrek 1 just pretty much built like Shrek 1 was like it's the first off, it was a big fuck you to Disney. So it was like it was there were people who worked at Disney, got fired or like had creative differences and left, started DreamWorks out of spite, and then made Shrek. And then
Didn't Disney buy DreamWorks?
No.
Oh, they didn't.
No.
Okay.
No. So
I think DreamWorks makes better movies than Disney.
oh, absolutely.
I forgot how good Shrek 2 was.
No, Shrek 2
were you saying this now? I was like,
No, Shrek 2 is fucking fantastic.
I really need to rewatch it.
Shrek 2 is actually amazing. But going back to like how Shrek 2 was amazing. So Shrek 1 pretty much was like the unconventional fairy tale story of like you're not looking at a fucking knight in shining armor, you're looking at a fucking ogre that's like, "Oh, give me back my swamp." But now it's like he's got the girl, he's got his home, but now he has to meet where the fucking girl came from. And
right, it's
just
Meet the Parents.
It's like a Meet the Parents movie.
It's so relatable.
It's so relatable in such a weird way. It's a Meet the Parents
At
movie.
your age now.
At our age now, yeah. And that movie was catered towards kids. Like, it's a Meet the Parents movie. It's a do I really fit into where I belong? There's a specific scene that I vividly remember. It's Shrek. He's in the castle. It's one night. He just can't fall asleep, and then he stands up. And he's just he's like rummaging through like Fiona's drawer, and instead of like
there's like a Justin Timberlake poster or something.
No.
I forgot what there is.
I don't remember what it was, but it was like so he's like rummaging through the poster, and he sees like her like crown and her stuff, but he like bypasses all of that and just sees like the ogre, like the swamp, like the beware of the ogres sign. And it's just like, you never really know whether or not you fit in somewhere, and whether or not like you're like if your family will accept you, or like. And Shrek 2 just has so many fucking intricacies to like whether true love is actually real or not, and like all this bullshit. And then it all comes together in these amazing Prison Break fucking musical number.
Bro, the
music is insane in that movie. The musical number that comes through towards the end of the movie, it's just
the twist with the frog.
The twist with the frog.
You love a good twist.
He croaked. Did anyone ever notice that pun? He croaked.
But yeah, that's Shrek 2. I cannot sing its praises enough. Like I have always been told. People have always asked me like, what is your favorite like movie, animated movie? And I always go to like Shrek 2, but I never have gone into detail as to why. And that just Shrek 2, amazing. And I guess for last one, because I know I'm fucking dragging this on, because I can really go forever with these movies.
Yeah, we can tell.
This was all just one setup for you to talk about what you like for an hour straight.
Oh yeah. And probably the last movie I'll probably would say is like one of my favorites. Probably The Lighthouse, and it's totally because Robert Pattinson jerks off for a minute. And on that note,
Wow. Superior.
Everyone.
Slogan.
Christ, Jesus Christ.
and on that note, thank you for watching and listening.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna explain The Lighthouse. Just know Robert Pattinson jerks off in that.
Just watch it.
It's
Just watch
fucking
it.
crazy. Just watch it, and listen to this on Spotify. Watch this on YouTube.
What a transition.
Follow us
I'm overstimulated.
on Instagram, and we'll catch you on the next one. Robert Pattinson's penis.
Huh?
Bye.
Bye.